Evening, Matt. Evening, everyone. So the Ravens meet the Shots, and these are the sides. No Chris Bush for Bromley today. He's suspended. Youth graduate Jude Arthurs drops to the bench, having made his debut in Tuesday's 2-2 draw with Woking. Back from injury are Joe Kizzy and Billy Bingham. Keep an eye out for former Chelsea youth graduate Charlie Wakefield, who scored on his first start for Bromley this week. Danny Searle was far from happy with the performance his side produced in their midweek defeat to Weymouth, and he's made 4 changes to the 11. Brad James, who's on loan from Middlesbrough, replaces the suspended Mitch Walker in goal. Also brought back in are Cody Lyons-Foster, former Leicester youth product Harry Panayiotou, and Alfie Whittingham, son of former Portsmouth striker Guy. Let's have a look at a couple of players who could play a big part today. As a former centre-forward, Kevin, I know you'll appreciate the talents of Bromley's Michael Cheek.
Yeah, the boys there was talking about consistency, and Michael Cheek is Mr. Consistent. Already into double figures for this season. Arguably, he could go on to have his best season in the National League, but that's 6 seasons in a row now with double figures. And what I like about Michael Cheek, he gets into great areas. He's always between the posts, and he's a really calm finisher as well. Left foot, right foot, hold-up play really good as well. So he's a really important player for Neil Smith.
Well, these two have so many National League sides who'll feel they can push for the playoff positions in the second half of the campaign. Momentum, what they're all looking for. Bromley, brilliant on the road, but underwhelming at home. Now they need to start performing better at Hayes Lane. And this their latest opportunity. Aldershot come here in decent form, though. They've won 5 of their last 7. Both sides scored plenty of goals, but there's a vulnerability about them at the back too. It should make, certainly for the neutral, Kev, for a good game.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it. We're not expecting a 0-0. As you said, both managers know where the problems lie going forward. Conceding a few goals here and there. Definitely going forward is the strength of both these teams, so should make for a good game this evening.
As you'll have noticed, even though it is an artificial surface, there has been so much rain in Bromley today that it, despite the best efforts of the ground staff and the Bromley manager, Neil Smith, who was out rushing the pitch, there is some surface water. And we have an early head injury here. Anderson of Aldershot is the player who's down.
Yeah, you see a clear clash of the heads there. It looks quite nasty, doesn't it? Anderson certainly comes off the worst, but it's good to see him back up on his feet.
He's a player that I'm pretty excited to see today, Jermaine Anderson. I recall when he was at Peterborough, I remember Darren McAntony, the owner there, describing as a Rolls Royce of a player. Said that they turned down a $2 million bid for him when he was at Peterborough. They wanted $4 million, but then he suffered 2 serious knee injuries. On his way back up now, though. Good ball into the box, searching cross there. And they had to be alive to that at the back there, Bromley. An important touch by Kizzy.
Well, it's really good play by Joel Nouble. Tries 1v1. Gets past Bingham there far too easily, puts a really dangerous ball into a great area. Good defending in the end.
Really nice ball in, wasn't it, by Joel Nouble? So a bit of early intent here from the Shots, who now look to threaten from the set piece. Panayiotou and Nouble, 2 of those in there. James Durkin is our referee today, son of the former Premier League referee Paul Durkin. Seemed to be a bit of holding going on in the box there. It was Finney who went down for Aldershot. This is Ogie. Did well there, the left back. It was a good driving run down that left flank, and he's got himself a free kick.
Yeah, Danny Searle, really pleased with the start that his team's made. Some good signs in wide areas already, and it's a really dangerous area for Aldershot. They've got 5 or 6 players in the box there. Expect good delivery into the box.
Really difficult conditions this for the players to contend with. Swirling wind and driving rain. Lyons-Foster and Finney, 2 centre-halves forward from the back. You'll notice Josh Rees, the captain, just on the edge of the box here for Aldershot as it's played in towards that back post, and Bettimer was there. They can't get a hold of the ball in the early stages here, the home side, Bromley. Nouble, chance for Rees to cross, which is exactly what he does. Kizzy put his head on that, and Panayiotou is there for Aldershot. And it was cleared on the edge of the box by Bingham. Good start to the game, this, though, by the shots.
Yeah, really on the front foot. I'd say looking for that reaction from a disappointing performance on Tuesday against Weymouth. Started really brightly here.
Nouble. Panayatu. Nouble caught there just after he played that. Placed here by Toby Edser. He's a Forest Youth graduate, a player who will take this. Edser. There's his ball in. Trying to scramble it clear. It was Roberts who initially got a touch on it, but back it comes now to Cousins.
Yeah, the home team. Obviously, we know the problems they've had at home, but not started this game really well at all. Just need to try and settle.
Foul there, though, wasn't there on Cheek, Kevin?
Yeah, they just need to settle in the game, as I was saying there, Adam. It's been all Aldershot in this opening 5 minutes.
Danny Searle, the man in charge at Aldershot. A relatively young coach at 42 with a growing reputation, but he's already worked at 2 Premier League clubs in Chelsea and West Ham in their respective youth systems. Well, Bromley have barely had the ball in the opening 5 minutes, but a chance now from this set piece. The player on the edge of the box, there were plenty in there. Webster was one of them too, and it was Brad James, the player on loan from Middlesbrough, who got a touch to that to turn it behind for a corner.
Yeah, it's good play from Brad James there. We know the quality that Frankie Raymond has, deals with that one really well, gets away from the danger area. You see that yellow card there for Ogie.
So Maloney to take this for Bromley, flicked on. Awkward this for the goalkeeper, who wasn't sure at all, and eventually does gather it in, surrounded by so many players there. Brad James.
Yeah, it's a decent ball in, wasn't it? Not the best clearance there, and you expect the goalkeeper to come and dominate there, 2 or 3 yards out. Just about gets away with that one, Brad James.
Apologies for any swearing that you may have picked up there. As it's played forward now to Panayatu, the flag up against the St Kitts and Nevis international. Neil Smith, someone who played under some big managerial names, says he learned organisation from Tony Pulis, the value of praise from Kevin Keegan, and how to keep it simple from Terry Venables.
You see Neil Smith there, just hoping that his team's settling this game. He's got Frankie Raymond there. It looks like he's playing at the left-back position, obviously with the suspension of Chris Bush. And
I remember him telling a story to us, Neil Smith, once, of course, because he used to play at Fulham during his playing days. He said he was introduced to Michael Jackson in the dressing room at Fulham by Mohammed Al Fayed, and he said at the time he was thinking, how does a lad from an estate in Bromley end up shaking hands with the king of pop?
Oh, great story.
I remember the Michael Jackson statue at Craven Cottage. Anyway, here's Nouble. Forward this by Nouble. The support arriving in Whittingham, and into the box it went! Well held on to there by Cousins, the effort from Panayatu.
Yeah, causing real problems down this right-hand side. Nouble started the game really well. Let's try and get at Raymond there. It's not a natural left-back, and little step over, just puts the ball again into a good area. There's Panayatu, it's a tame header in the end.
Lively start to the game though. It's the visiting side, Aldershot, who've had the better of the first 8 minutes or so. Could Bromley threaten here, though? Cleared by Shadrach Ogie. Touched by Panayatu, but the play pulled back. Really does illustrate the horrible conditions that we have at Hayes Lane right now. And I guess the message from both managers in these conditions will be test the goalkeepers as much as possible, make it as awkward as possible as you can for the goalkeepers.
Yeah, not like that. It was a poor delivery. Like I say, the wind and the rain, it's really swirling around and making life difficult, so the mistakes can be there and to be pounced on.
Very mixed season so far for both these clubs. Their campaigns are hard to assess, positives and negatives in equal measure. The Ravens' away record, for example, has been exceptional. Their results here less so. Aldershot free scoring but defensively vulnerable. Finding balance and consistency difficult. Here's Panayatu. Came off the back of Raymond for a corner to the shots.
Yeah, it certainly looks like they've made a target for this this right-hand side for Aldershot. Again, Raymond played in that unorthodox position for him, finding it difficult in his opening 10 minutes.
Shade over 10 gone. Badly overhit. It will be Bromley's ball. Edsa's one of several players in the midfield tonight, though, for Aldershot, Kevin, who, as I mentioned earlier with Anderson, some potentially exciting players. Josh Rees, Bromley supporters all know what he's capable of, came through Arsenal's youth system, as did Jermaine Anderson, and Toby Edsa was a former under-23s captain at Nottingham Forest. There's plenty of potential in that Shots midfield.
Yeah, there's some good players around in the National League now. Talk about the likes of Ross McCormack as well, out injured, Craig Tanner.
Newball's ball in was a good delivery and well defended too. That's an excellent defensive header, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really wicked ball in there. Again, coming from this right-hand side. It's Byron Webster with a really important header. Really tough to deal with. As I said, these conditions making life really difficult for those defenders out there, particularly the Bromley defenders at the moment. There we see Newball again, just a little touch, not enough pressure on the ball. Really good defending header there from Webster. It's been really difficult for Raymond. Playing at left back at the moment, he doesn't have to get tight or drop off at the moment, finding it really difficult.
Another chance to swing one into the box here, though, for the Shots. It's bouncing around. Newball with the back heel, but it was read all the way by Cousins. He's had a good start to the game, though, Joel Newball.
Yeah, seen him play on this right-hand side, played on the left on Tuesday night. Again, it's not the best ball in, but they get that first contact and then the ball's recycled and he just tries a little audacious back heel there. Comfortable save from Mark Cousins.
Laid wide by Maloney, who gets it back again off Kizzy. Now Webster. Too much on that for Bridge. Only 1 point between these clubs right now in Aldershot's favour, although the Shots have played 2 games more than Bromley. Both sides have taken more points away from home and at their own grounds this season. Nasty clash there involving Anderson and Kizzy, and the latter has stayed down here as Aldershot continue. Ogie. The referee there, James Durkin, had noted that perhaps there was a head injury involved here, which was why they will have been stopped. Now, I don't think there was there?
No, I don't think there's any intent there from Anderson. Just catches the left leg of Kizzy there on the follow-through. Unintentional.
Amazing story that, isn't it, Kevin? What I was saying about this player, Anderson, how Darren McAntony was saying that they turned down a bid of £2 million for him at Peterborough because they thought they could get a lot more than that. Then had those 2 serious knee injuries. You've got to have a lot of time and respect, haven't you, for somebody who'll come now down into non-league football, looking to work his way back up again, 24 years old. It is a fairly familiar story, though, isn't it, at this level of football? Yeah,
it can be. It's all about the mentality of the individual player, really. It's understanding, you know, you're dropping down a level, yes, but the National League, as we know, is very professional now. It's an opportunity to shine and then try and go again. Try and get back into playing league football. That's the aim of all these players out here, so it should be.
Just under a quarter of an hour gone here. It's nodded down by Panayiotou, but run back for Bromley by Webster. Reach Bingham. Nicely done by Rees. Panayiotou trying to keep this in it. He got a shove there off Raymond.
It's good play once again. Panayiotou wasn't the best ball down the line. He turned it into a good ball. And again, it was Raymond there with a shove in the back.
They find a telling delivery here with just over a quarter of an hour gone. Movement there from Finney towards the near post, and it's just about stayed out. Bridge looking to get there. That ball in caused all sorts of problems, didn't it? The delivery from Edson.
Yeah, again, failed to deal with it on this occasion. Looks like it was nearly an own goal. It looks like it deflected back off the post, maybe Webster. Good to see that one again.
To let off this for Bromley.
Yeah, it's a really dangerous ball, isn't it? And there you see it there, it just comes off the defender onto the post. Bromley get away with this one. Should really be getting a header on that before it gets to that point.
Ogie driving on here for the shots. Oh, and it's been missed and didn't run through for Panayiotou, but a couple of nervous moments at the back here for Bromley.
Yeah, it looks like it's just rubbing and spreading between the team here. Roberts this time with a missed kick, and listen, the conditions aren't great, but just seems to be a nervousness around this Bromley team at the moment. Maybe it's that home form.
Well, Cheek was expecting a free kick there. Looked like he might have been pulled by Finney, but free. James Durkin happy for play to continue as wide it comes now for Nouble. He's got Panayiotou central. Edson's arriving on the edge of the box as well. Rees is in there too. They just weren't really on the same wavelength there, were they, Nouble and Panayiotou?
No, but you can see it's a concern for Bromley. Talks about Jack Bridge. He's having to come over now and help Frankie Raymond on numerous occasions. That ball in again there, it just beats everybody. Just come back off Cheek there, I think it was it maybe? I'm not too sure. Fortunate for Bromley.
First contact on the second. Let's get in there hard.
He's having a good season, isn't he? Cheek, 10 goals in the league, the joint top scorer along with John Rooney in the National League. 4 goals in his last 5 games. And I think, as Kevin mentioned earlier on, just before kick-off, how consistent he's been as well, Michael Cheek, over the years at this level. He's now reached double figures in all 6 of his National League seasons.
Yeah, just wonder if he's one of those players that maybe a league club would maybe take a chance on. Consistently good numbers at this level. Feels like he can step up. He's a good all-round number 9. He's got it all.
Richie with the ball back. James has made a mistake here. It's going to be a corner, but a sigh of relief there for Aldershot that it wasn't worse than that.
Yeah, again, you just see Brad James slip there. Obviously, they had a really important slip on Tuesday night as well, and just won't breed any confidence. Obviously, the goalkeeper getting sent off as well on Tuesday night can just have an effect on that back four, but they've not had to do much defending so far in this game.
James back in the side because Mitch Walker suspended. He stayed put there, the goalkeeper. It was Finney who headed clear. Wakefield. Bingham will put his foot through it, and it's watched wide by the goalkeeper, Brad James. We can join Jake Humphrey tomorrow morning for a review of this weekend's Premier League action. That from 11 o'clock, as we look ahead as well to Sunday's games, which will include Chelsea against Burnley from the Bridge. Thomas Tuchel looking for his first Chelsea win. Of course, Burnley seeking to build on that excellent victory they had over Aston Villa, live on BT Sport midweek. Eds's ball wide. He now goes down the line. And into the box it went, and it took a touch and gathered in by Cousins. He's recently signed a new contract, Mark Cousins, with Bromley, and until the end of next season. Comes here to Bridge. Onto that right foot it went! Brilliant goal! So well placed. How good was that from Bridge into the bottom corner? Perfect precision to beat Brad James, and Bromley lead.
Yeah, it's a long ball originally from the goalkeeper Cousins. Cheek does really well, keeps it alive. The first time we see Wakefield, I think, is cutting in here. Nice pass to the opposite wide man. 1v1 for Bridge, cuts in onto his right foot, and look at this for a strike. Clean as they come. It's so disappointing from Aldershot, who've dominated in this opening 21 minutes, but it's Bromley who take the lead. Good bit of individual play here. Look, he's always getting onto his right foot. It's a wonderful strike.
That's his first goal for the club. Hadn't scored since November of last year. It was at Carlisle last season. Jack Bridge took that brilliantly. You could see exactly what he wanted to do as soon as he got it onto his right foot, couldn't you?
Yeah, again, you could say the defending's showing down the line. It's knowing the opposition, knowing the players you're up against. 2 or 3 touches, but taking off and away from the strike. He catches it cleanly. Almost gets stuck in that little bottom bracket, doesn't it, against the post there. So it'll be interesting to see how Aldershot respond now. The team do look a little bit flaky sometimes when they go a goal behind, so they need to get a response here. They've been playing well so far, but find themselves behind.
And that will be the frustration, won't it, as Wakefield now takes this on. Offside flag goes up against Cheek, because of course they'd started well enough against Weymouth during the week as well, Kevin, Aldershot, and then found themselves, I know there was a red card for the goalkeeper as well, but ultimately lost the game 2-0. They have to make the most of it, don't they, when they're on top in games, as they have been in the early stages, really.
Exactly. You know, the game can go away from you sometimes, and you don't take your chances, and then suddenly you go down the other end and a goal goes against you. But that's when it's important that you have the leaders in there. I know Sendall's White's the captain, who's just coming back from injury on the bench today, but 1 or 2 or 3 of those experienced players. It is a young squad for Aldershot, and sometimes when it's not going your way, it's difficult to try and regroup and go again.
It was quite scathing, really, Danny Searle, after the defeat to Weymouth. He said he told the players that they have to grow up. He said you can't legislate for mistakes like they made, that they've been letting in too many goals. He said he'd back his side to score 2 or 3 against anyone. He said you can't do what they did in the first half of that game against Weymouth in this league. He said it's as simple as that, and he will be frustrated right now again. And he finds touch. touch by Finney. Now Anderson. Can they hit back here, the shots? Edsa. Panayatu. It was a good idea, and it might still come off for them. The shot on the turn by Anderson. They weren't helped out by the surface water there, were they?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. You can see it's difficult sometimes as a player trying to read the run of the ball, expects it to stop, not sure if it's going to run on. So it was a nice little reverse pass there from Panayatu. And Anderson, he loves to get forward, doesn't he, at every opportunity.
Lots of goals in the National League today. The leaders, Torquay, winning 2-0 at the Hive. 6 defeats in a row now for Barnet. Then Whitfield and Jake Anderson. The goals there. Eastleigh got a 93rd minute winner at Boreham Woods. Dagenham and Redbridge came from behind twice to draw with Chesterfield. Josh Coley got the winner for Maidenhead at Halifax. Rhys Oates was on target for Hartlepool, big win for them against Sutton. Wrexham 2-0 winners at Kings Lynn, Record and Yusuf with the goals there. 2 wins in a week for Notts County. Elijah Sam with their winner at Weymouth. Great start for Simon Rusk and Stockport, 4-1 winners at Woking. 3-1 win for Yeovil as well, 2 for Joe Quickly in all of that. You can see all those goals in our highlights programme tonight from 7:30 on BT Sport 1 with Matt and Adam Virgo, who will be hoping that the rain eases off. Going down and getting the free kick, and this will be a chance for them to whip it into the box. Wakefield far from happy with the decision.
Yeah, Uji, I think it is on that left-hand side there. Blatant foul there from Wakefield in another dangerous area.
Just under 20 minutes of the first half remaining. Bromley a goal up, perhaps against the run of play. They've got to defend this and be switched on from the set piece. 2-0 up, remember, midweek against Woking at Hayes Lane. Ended up dropping 2 points in that one. Have a lead to protect here. And it came to Whittingham, who gets it back again off Finney. Just stayed in play. Whittingham, Newball, Finney, Newball. So many back defending here for Bromley. Newball looking to hit the byline. He held on to it, perhaps a little too long. Covered that situation by Finney, and then Whittingham brought down for the free kick. The foul by Bingham. Referee has just halted the play here. Calling Bingham, I think it is, across Webster. Coming over here as well. So Alfie Whittingham to take this. Newball. You seem to want to get him on the ball as much as possible down this right-hand side. Bromley are to challenge for the playoff places, as is their ambition. They'll need to get better at Hayes Lane. They've only won one of their last 10 home games in all competitions, and not won any of their last 7 National League home games, but they have themselves in front here. reminder that BT Sport will once again be bringing you all 10 games from next week's midweek Premier League fixtures, featuring every Premier League side from Tuesday to Thursday, and culminating with a London derby, Tottenham against Chelsea. So much to look forward to on BT Sport, and our next live National League action comes from Edgeley Park, and it will be Stockport against Yeovil a week today. Good start today, hasn't it, Kevin, for Simon Rusk, the new man at Stockport, who's replaced Jim Gannon.
Yeah, it came as a bit of a shock to a lot of people. See Jim Gannon being a bit of a club legend there and been there for so long, but they decided it's the right time for change, and obviously finding it difficult to get out of the National League. We wish him the best of luck.
4-1 winners, by the way, at Woking, for those of you not up with today's scores. Raymond to take the throw in for the Ravens. Cheeks header. Finney got that clear for the shots, not chested down by Newble. Roberts got there first for Bromley.
There's been a really good tempo to the game, hasn't it? 30 minutes in. It's been a good watch. Just starting to settle down a little bit now. The first 20 minutes it was all Aldershot, and so we probably get that lead and just starting to settle.
I mentioned Bromley's home form. If you trace it back to the end of last season, it's 2 home wins in 14, 8 of those defeats. No one really at Hayes Lane can seem to put their finger on why as well, especially when they've been playing so well away from home.
Yeah, it's something they'll be desperate to try and get that first win, you know, 2-0 up on Tuesday night and let the lead slip against Woking. I think sometimes the longer it goes on, the harder it becomes, and sometimes you see to grind a result out and get rid of those demons, really.
Slipped there by Mo Betterman. Again, apologies for any swearing that you might have heard. One of the first times I think I've mentioned Betterman, Kevin. They've not really got him involved in the game that much, the number 9 for the shots.
No, it's been predominantly down this right-hand side, and we see him playing over on that left-hand side. He does like to play up top as well. But it's been mostly down this right-hand side for Aldershot, where they've been having success. And I think you can clearly see the way both teams like to play. Probably looking to get that little ball in behind the back four of Aldershot and causing problems. And we see Webster there with, it's like he's just limping off for maybe a bit of treatment.
Player signed from Carlisle in September, Byron Webster, twice a League One playoff winner during his days with Yeovil and Millwall. Probably his 12th club. The link that might have brought him to Bromley is that he's an ex-Millwall teammate of one of the coaches here, Alan Dunn, who many of you might remember. I'm saying he turned down better deals elsewhere to come to Bromley. So impressed was he with the facilities and what Neil Smith and co had to say to him.
Yeah, we heard Danny Searle sort of touching on budgets a little bit and expectations. I think Bromley look to be investing in the club and obviously the staff and the squad as well. I think they'll be expected to be in the playoffs this season.
Just in the years that I personally have been covering the National League, the development at the stadium has been fantastic to see as well at Hayes Lane. It's very much a community club, a real hub of the community. Artificial surface helps with all of that. It's a strong challenge, and one that the referee, James Durkin, has come across to have a word with Raymond about. I think there is going to be a yellow card shown here as well.
Yeah, we know Raymond's a very committed player, shall we say. Yeah, it's just bouncing around a little bit, and it's just a follow-through there from Frankie Raymond.
It's Panayatu who's the player brought down. A yellow card there then for Frankie Raymond.
Again, that's not going to help him. It's been quite tough for him, playing over there at left-back, up against Newbell.
Cousins just lining up his wall still here. The very wet surface. It bounces in front of the goalkeeper. Could be very awkward indeed here. And, well, it's into the car park from Betterman.
I don't want to see that one back. See the run up there, and he's going for that Ronaldo technique, but gets it horribly wrong.
He's the Shot's top scorer this season. Betterman, 9 goals in 20 appearances in all competitions. I should say as well, congratulations to him too, because he made his senior international debut in November. In fact, scored on his debut for Libya. It was one of the most fulfilling experiences of his life so far. I've seen the goal. He really celebrated like it meant that to him as well. Whittingham. He's looked one of the more likely sources of inspiration for Aldershot Panayiotou.
Yeah, it certainly looks lively, doesn't it? Good movement, looks hungry. Good to have him back, I'm sure. Playing in that more central role.
He's had such a well-travelled career for someone who's only 26, Panayiotou. I remember before he was at Barrow in 2017, he had a trial and was offered a contract actually by Borussia Dortmund's under-23 side. Harry Panayiotou. He's also had offers, I remember, from Yeovil, Coventry, Salt Lake City as well in the States. He came through Leicester's youth systems, had a lot of clubs for someone who's 26. He's a St Kitts and Nevis international as well.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? You look at some of these players' career pathways and decisions you have to make. Sometimes you look back and regret, and sometimes you don't. But he's here enjoying his football. I'm sure Danny Searle will be pleased to have him back in the team today.
Got a good record at international level, actually, Panayiotou. 10 goals in 25 caps for St Kitts and Nevis. It's Raymond's throw-in. Touchdown by Anderson, cleared forward by Ogie. How are you enjoying, Kevin, the agency side of the game that you've got into now?
Yeah, it's good. I'm really enjoying it. Got about 15 players now, so it's nice to try and help these players and help them make the right decisions with their careers and give them that advice that they sometimes really need. So got quite a few players at this level, and it's one that I'm really enjoying. Sendles White on the bench today for Aldershot being one of them.
Whittingham. Newble. Betterman. Ogie. With every minute of every game this season. Ogie, who goes down there looking for a free kick but doesn't get one.
I'm sure Danny Searle and his staff should be getting the message on really to Newble on this right-hand side. You know, Frankie Raymond's been booked already. It's a really uncomfortable start for him, the opening 20 minutes, and you'd be saying to him, get on the ball, get it out to him, get him driving it in 1v1. Life really difficult for him.
Talked about the need to come to Hayes Lane, and as he put it, roll their sleeves up. Danny Searle said that they really needed to go back to the drawing board after that defeat to Weymouth at home during the week. And there would be a fair bit from the first half you'd think he'd be pretty pleased about, Danny Searle, but again we see perhaps the defensive vulnerabilities come to the fore. Cutting in on his right foot to score the only goal of the game so far. Kizzy is forward to take the throw.
Yeah, he'll be frustrated, that's for sure. As I say, started really brightly with a better team. Create some good chances, hit the post. And an own goal, of course, and you think sometimes one of those go in, you get that little bit of luck and you can go on and try and win the game. It's just gone against him a little bit here.
Only one clean sheet in their last 17 home games in all competitions for Bromley. They're the side looking to add a second here. But awkward that for the goalkeeper, but dealt with it. Brad James.
Gets another wicked ball in right on top of the goalkeeper. Brad James deals with it, puts it out for another corner.
There's a lot of players around the 21-year-old goalkeeper here. Goalkeeper thought about coming for that, then went back. They scramble it clear. Ogie got to it first for the shots, up towards Panayatu. Ogie again, who's an Irish under-19 international, on loan from Leyton Orient.
Yeah, it's a great experience for Ogie. A little shaky start to his time here at Aldershot, but the manager's shown a lot of faith in him.
Panayatu just beaten to it by Cousins. From a comfort perhaps here for the Aldershot supporters who find themselves, their side trailing here. Only top of the table Torquay had scored more away goals this season ahead of this weekend than Aldershot. The problem has been that they give up chances at the other end too. Only 3 clubs have conceded more goals away from home ahead of the weekend. And they find themselves a goal down here.
I don't know they'll get chances. I don't think Aldershot have had a clean sheet in the league this season, have they? So it's important that they stay in the game now, 5 minutes to half-time. They certainly will not want to be going in 2-0. They've shown in that opening 20-25 minutes they can create chances. Obviously they've got a couple of live wires on the bench as well. That's Ricky Miller, Candy, who can come on and maybe get them back into the game.
First time by Roberts. Maybe could have taken a touch there. Corey Roberts. Message from one or two of his teammates was to just settle down. Whittingham plays it forward. Flicked on by Panayatu. Noble. Again for Panayatu there. Whittingham. Run through here for Panayatu, but out came Cousins bravely.
He's certainly the player they're going to have to keep an eye on. They've probably not played those kind of balls enough in this first half, testing back forward Bromley, try and get them turned, facing their own goal.
Games involving both these sides have tended to be pretty high scoring of late. 47 goals have been scored across Bromley's 16 league matches, an average of 3 per game. Since Aldershot's 0-0 draw at Chesterfield on the 1st of December, they played 10 times, and there have been 39 goals scored across those 10 games.
Yeah, there tend to be plenty of goals when Aldershot are in town. So they don't draw many games either. I'm not saying it's roll of the dice, but they try to win games and sometimes they can leave themselves a little bit exposed at the back.
He's got 2 involved in the game in the first half, Ben Williamson.
Yeah, you'd have to say overall, so you look at the chances created by Bromley, there haven't been many. You say Williamson and Cheek have been kept relatively quiet. That's the frustration, just approaching half-time.
Too much that ball of Finney, but they have got a throw in and they're keen to take it quickly. Whittingham. Betterman. Cross was deflected, it might get roll for them, and it was Rees looking to get on the turn. Ogie. Anderson. Can they hit back before half-time here? Roberts with the header. Intercepted before it could reach Panayatu as Cheek felt he was fouled. On we go. Edsa. Roberts headed clear for Bromley. Whittingham, who's also a personal trainer. Betterman. New ball. Betterman. Whittingham calling for it. There's his chance to cross. Watched all the way by Cousins.
It's not very convincing once again from Cousins. Maybe it's the wind or the conditions, but the keeper struggled to clear those lines with the punches. It's like Betterman's just come over to this right-hand side for the remaining few minutes of this first half.
Only 2 clean sheets in his last 13 league games for Cousins. Former Fulham and Manchester player. So a minimum of 60 seconds to add on at the end of the half as Aldershot looked to threaten before half-time here. Anderson's ball. Reese with the pass to heavy perhaps for Betterman, but he'll keep this in, and he's got a corner out of it right at the end of the first half. A chance for the shots from a set piece.
Yeah, and of course a few problems with these balls whipping in with the wind and the rain. I expect this one to go right into where Cousins is once again.
Danny Searle hoping for an equaliser from his side in added time here. Cousins has stayed on his line. Good header wide to Edsa. Some suggestion of handball there, but nothing doing from the referee, Durkin. Final seconds of this first half. They've got to get it into the box here. Edsa. Run from Newble. Plenty in the box if they can get it in there. Looks like there will be time for another corner as we move into a second minute of added time at the end of the half here. Finishing the first half pretty strongly here, the shots. Dealt with that, Mark Cousins. And despite the fact that it's, in terms of possession, Aldershot on top at the end of the half, it's Bromley who lead at the break. A first goal for the Ravens for Jack Bridge. His first goal for anybody since last November. Took it brilliantly, such a precise finish. We'll get the half-time thoughts of Adam Virgo and Matt Smith shortly, but at half-time here, at a very wet and windy Hayes Lane, it is Bromley 1, Aldershot 0. Yes, Bromley were always going to struggle to replicate the exceptional first half they had to last season when they were second at this stage of the campaign. They were only off top spot on goal difference. The Ravens 9 points worse off right now, but as we resume here in the second half, they have a lead to protect. Aldershot have actually made progress in that respect. They're 6 points better off and seemingly going in the right direction overall this season, Kevin, and I guess they had enough ball in that first half maybe for them to believe they can get back into this.
Yeah, I think I touched on it before half-time. You know, Danny Searle's message will be, look, they were 2-0 up on Tuesday night against Woking, threw that away, so let's stay in the game. If we can maybe get that next goal, we can maybe go on and win this game. So they've showed enough in that opening.
Oh, Panayatu to hit this. And the deflection takes it through to Cousins.
Yeah, again, it's a good start from them. And as I was saying, you know, they showed plenty in that first 20 minutes until going a goal behind. Then they fell a little bit flat, you must say, but I expect them to come out this second half, as they has done, and get on the front foot again, because it's there for them if they want to go and try and take it.
Betterman. Cross it goes to Newble, who miscontrols it.
Yeah, Newble, as I said before, he's the one they need to get the ball to. Had some great success down there. Going up against Frankie Raymond, who's a centre midfield player, playing at left back on a yellow card as well. So I'm sure that would be another message that they would have got to the players at half-time.
Aldershot in the better form of these two sides. Their midweek loss to Weymouth have been preceded by a 3-game winning run. Bromley have now gone 3 matches without a victory. Noble getting inside and overhits the cross. Just need to find some more precision with that final ball. Danny Searle's side. It's interesting listening to him talk, Kevin, before the game about the fact that this is on live TV, because he said, in his opinion, there were 4 or 5 of their players who he said rather froze when they played live on television last season against Torquay. Says you really want to do yourself justice as a player, clearly at this level when you're on TV.
Yeah, it can have different effects on different players, particularly some of the young players. Maybe for the first time they'll have a few nerves, maybe not sleep right the night before. They want to do so well and impress. Sometimes it gets the better of you. So, you know, he's had to rebuild a squad as well. I think it's 12 players went out, 10 new ones in the summer, so it's a rebuilding job for him as well. And, you know, they're in a decent position at the minute. It's a really competitive league. You see the foul here again. Just a trip there, but you know, back-to-back wins and suddenly in and around the playoffs, and I think it's going to be one of those leagues this season. It's there for a number of teams if they really want to try and grasp it and make a push for those playoff places.
Cheek, an obvious target for this set piece. Williamson towards the edge of the box as well, as in it goes towards Webster, and the touch on, what a chance. Well, they're saying that there was a foul there. It's Kizzy who's headed it wide. But what an opportunity for Bromley to double their lead.
Yeah, and this is a decent ball in. It looks like Brad James has made the decision to come. He's never getting there. It's a poor decision from the keeper, and they get away with it. Kizzy just has the simple task of heading that into an empty goal and gets it all wrong. He looks a bit nervy at times, Brad James.
Pass there by Panayatu, but the whistle goes and it will be a free kick to Bromley. Bromley in their 6th season running at this level. It's 5 campaigns. They've really progressed as a club in all of the seasons, really. Success story, how this club has been run on and off the pitch. Came so close to silverware, didn't they, a couple of years ago, just losing that FA Trophy final so narrowly.
Yeah, remember that game? It was agonising for him, wasn't it? See what it meant to the Bromley community. It was so close, but you know, they're building here. Let's see if they can get this home form right with their away record. They'll be in contention this season.
Neil Smith certainly was looking, as he said before this game, for the sort of level of performance that they got in their last game live on BT Sport, when they were impressive in beating Solihull Moors 1-0 in the West Midlands. Fantastic win against a side who tend to be excellent at home, Solihull. It's a very different challenge at Hayes Lane against an Aldershot side who've won 5 of their last 7.
I think it's important this time of the year. You have that resilience. Adam Virgo was touching on it there. You're trying to grind a result out, not playing to your best, but able to win games and draw games, keep that momentum. And for the teams that can do that best, especially with this season with COVID, it's been so stop-start. You know, it's been a real problem for Bromley to get any consistency going, any form going.
Betterman. Good ball that for Noble. Eds has made his way into the box. Panayatu's in there, Rees is in there. Cross wasn't great from Whittingham. Maloney. Roberts. by Roberts up towards Cheek, who was fouled by Anderson. Does that well, Cheek. Draws defenders into making challenges. Giving away free kicks. Can be a useful way to Bromley to get up the pitch. Taken by Raymond. Flicked on by Cheek. It was a good header that, but he was alive to it, the young goalkeeper, Brad James.
Yeah, that's what he's good at there. He gets his timing so well, reads the flight of the ball. I think it was Williamson on this occasion. He'd be gambling every time the ball goes up to Cheek. He wins more than he loses. It's a nice nodded down ball into a dangerous area.
Roberts with the header and helped on by Maloney. Bridge by Betterman. They've won their last two away games, the Shots, 1-0 at Woking, 4-3 at Wealdstone. In fact, they've won 3 of their last 4 away games in all competitions. Can they turn this around today, though? Williams. Wakefield. Chance perhaps for the Shots to counter. Panayatin. Sliding in was Corey Roberts. Good challenge that. There is Ricky Miller, one of the Aldershot substitutes, warming up. Player who did such great things, didn't he, during his time at Dover. 65 goals he got in 96 league games in those 3 years at Dover. Remember that season where he got 40 goals in 41 league games, the 2016-17 season. He got 5 hat-tricks that year, Kev. And he, of course, didn't play at all last season, has had some personal problems. Picked up a nasty gash to his leg just recently, which is why he's not been involved recently, but it looks as though from the ferocity of that warm-up that his introduction can't be far away here.
Yeah, he's getting prepped, isn't it? You wonder if it's going to be Toby Etzer. He's just playing in that little hole, just struggled to get into the game, so whether he'll bring him on and put him up alongside Panayetu, we'll have to wait and see, but certainly a player. Danny Searle will be delighted who's back from that little nasty cut he had. And we know what he's all about, he's a goal threat. It's good to see him back playing.
I noted on his social media he said that he was he'd done a 7k run. That was on Wednesday. I haven't checked since. I presume he might have been out for another jog since then, but certainly working hard to get fit again. Up it goes towards Webster and Cheek. Nice clearance by Jermaine Anderson.
Well, again, you'd be expecting this ball. You know exactly where it's going. Brad James has flapped it 2 or 3 already this evening. Just wants someone to go and attack that ball.
Plenty of height, isn't there, in this Bromley side? Into the 6-yard box it went, where Roberts was beaten to it by Anderson, and then Newble looked to thump it clear. Came off Webster, kept going here by Wakefield. It's going to be Bromley's ball.
They're playing with a bit more control this second half, Bromley. Trying to get the ball down and pass it a little bit more. I think the wind affected the way they played in that first half.
You'll notice there that where the lights are there is the Ravens bar. And that's where, of course, on a normal match day, supporters would be in there having something to eat and drink. I'm told as well that Neil Smith occasionally does his studying in there, his homework, if you like. Doesn't have an office of his own at the grounds. Certainly didn't when I last spoke to him. He's done so much for this club, Neil Smith, a Bromley boy, a local lad. told that it's Mo Bettimer who's going to be withdrawn for the introduction of Ricky Miller. Here comes that change now. Scored on his only previous league appearance for Aldershot, Ricky Miller. Can he repeat the feat today? Certainly will be, at the very least, Kevin, a bundle of energy.
Yeah, he'll be playing with enthusiasm. I say it's been a lengthy layoff for him. Came back and scored, and now he's back in contention and playing, which is where he's happiest.
Goal kick given. He scored on his debut at 11 minutes after coming on as a substitute. Was against Woking on the 2nd of January, but then had to eventually get subbed himself because of injury. Been looking forward to seeing him again. So impressive during his time at Dover. There's his first touch, but it only falls here for Roberts.
Yeah, it looks like for like, doesn't it? Just come over to this left-hand side. I'm sure he'll be looking to try and link up with Panietu every opportunity.
Edson.
It's a poor pass once again from Edson. Been disappointing so far as we approach the hour mark. Just looking for him to try and find those little pockets of space just in behind Maloney and Bingham in there. He's not gotten the ball enough for me.
Now Ricky Miller gets involved, Panietu's in the box. And Ogie's looking to try and get there, and he did before Bridge, but then they misjudged it. Bridge got it clear. Sent forward again by Finney. Panietu trying to get there, given away by Kizzy. Ogie. Stood up a decent cross there, and Miller trying to get on the end of it. Noble now. Can he find the cross? And Miller's in there, and Edson was too. Drops now for Noble. That's a bit of a waste.
Well, that's a brilliant header from Byron Webster. Senses the danger. He's a brave head. I'm not sure if he got a clash of heads in the process, but just gets himself into that area there. You can see Panietu there. It's a good ball in. Throws his body in, maybe come off his shoulder. Good defending.
That was better though, wasn't it, from Aldershot? Real intent about them. Foul on Finney, my cheek. Noble. Cheek. Whittingham. Heavy touch by Ricky Miller.
Look at this creativity of this Aldershot team. Look at Craig Tanner. I think he's been a huge loss for them. He had a really bright start to the season. Free kicks and that end product. Been a big miss for them.
Bromley could see this out, and I know there's a long way to go, half an hour. It would really be a big boost in confidence for them in light of how they've struggled so much generally at home this season. Only 9 points from 30 as Miller has a go, and pushed out by Cousins. A new ball, just wide. Well, the first one pushed out by Cousins, and then that one took a deflection. It's going to be a corner.
There's no surprise to see Miller taking the shot on there, gets the touch, gets the ball out his feet, left foot. It's an awkward one for the goalkeeper. Pans it out to a reasonably safe area. There was Noble, just puts it into a dangerous area and just can't quite get a touch on it. Good defending once again.
Aldershot are knocking on the door here. Anderson's ball in, and Miller with a tight angle hits the side netting, but He's G'd them up a bit, hasn't he? He's effervescent, Ricky Miller, and I'm sure that it really passes on to his teammates.
Yeah, already been on the pitch a few minutes. 2 opportunities for him. Like I say, that enthusiasm should just breathe through this team now. I'm sure Neil Smith will be slightly concerned.
He had a year out of the game last season, Ricky Miller, but he's still only 31. He's been without a club since leaving Port Vale at the end of the 2018-19 season. He's tended to do pretty well against Bromley as well. 3 goals in 3 career league appearances against the Ravens, all of those goals for Dover.
You see certain strikers just have favourite teams, don't they, where they almost know they're going to score. He's got plenty of time left in this game. He's very bright since coming into the game.
Flag up. It's Aldershot's ball, and probably they just need to get going again here, don't they? Because they're letting Aldershot grow in confidence somewhat.
Yeah, I think naturally the longer this game goes on at 1-0, because they haven't won for so long at home, they'll start to drop 5-10 yards, and that should start to invite more pressure from Aldershot. A decent away record themselves.
14 points from a possible 30 away from home this season for Aldershot. They've won 4 away games. Kizzy, told Jack Holland, is going to be coming on shortly for Bromley, the club captain. No hurry to take this. Kizzy with the throw. Williams. Kizzy. It's blocked by Shadrach Ogie. Both the centre-halves forward here, Roberts and Webster. We've seen Webster in particular look a threat from any sort of set-piece situation. Williamson in the 6-yard box as well. And it's over here. Hard to judge with the way that the wind's swirling around Hayes Lane, maybe.
Yeah, it's really difficult. You almost need to just take a little bit of pace off those corners. We know Frankie Raymond possesses great quality from set pieces. Another assist midweek, and just the conditions are really difficult out there.
Nicely done by Panayatu. Throw in out of that as well. Newble. Goes to Cheek. Loses out to Anderson. Edson. Whittingham. Can they find a bit of quality in the final third here, the shots? Ricky Miller. Reese. Behind it goes for a corner. Josh Reese will be keen to make an impression today against his former club Bromley. So a change being made here by the Ravens, and it's the man who's got the only goal of the game so far. His first for the Ravens, taken beautifully in the first half by Jet Bridge.
Yeah, it's a great strike from him. So he hits that bottom stanchion in the goal there. He's had to do a lot of defensive work, helping out Frankie Raymond at left back, and both him and Wakefield done a good job for the team defensively. Found it really difficult to get forward and cause problems for Aldershot.
It's the vastly experienced Jack Holland who comes on here. He's made more than 350 appearances now for Bromley. Grew up a few minutes away from Hayes Lane. It's more a set piece over here. We can join Jake Humphrey tomorrow morning for a review of this weekend's Premier League action, as well as a look ahead to Sunday's games. That on BT Sport 1, and those games include Chelsea against Burnley at the Bridge. Thomas Tuchel hoping for his first Chelsea win. Of course, Burnley seeking to build on that very good victory they had over Aston Villa during the week. Ogie, and maybe misjudged a little bit there by Finney, but it was Lyons Foster who was there to help him out. Noble. The Telegraph that pass, and it was gratefully intercepted. Noble looking to atone for the error and did well there. Cheek quickly back to his feet. Reese, Noble. Anderson wants it. Bingham's going to be shown a yellow card here. In the side today, Bingham, former Palace youth product who was released by Neil Warnock during his time at Selhurst Park. With the likes of Victor Moses and Nathaniel Klein and John Bostock during his time with the Eagles. And Whittingham stood over this. Ricky Miller trying to get a message across here. Panayatu towards the edge of the box as well. Finally did get the message across, and Ogie plays it into the area, and again, there's just a lack of conviction, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just let them down, hasn't it? And that's just poor again. They were indecisive, and then it's just a lofted, hopeful ball. Easy take for Mark Cousins. I think to the final third, Aldershot have played pretty well, just lacking that bit of quality and ruthlessness in the final third at the moment.
Surprising, really, because they haven't struggled for goals away from home this season. 17 in 10 games, not a bad record.
No, it just looks like Bromley might have gone to a back three. And Wakefield playing left wing back, Kizzy right wing back. Holland's just going into the right centre half for the remainder of this game. 20 minutes to go.
Candy's going to be coming on. Former Chelsea youth product, GK Candy. Into the final 20 minutes we go. Bromley, as it stands, heading for what would be only their third home league win of the season. Miller. Holland flew into that. Ricky Miller, and he's in a bit of bother here. Well, you can hear the players saying he didn't touch him, but the way that he flew into that was clearly potentially dangerous.
Yeah, you see the ball there, comes loose, and Holland's with a touch. It's a bit of a heavy touch, and I don't know how much contact there is there, but it's really dangerous from Ricky Miller. Over enthusiastic, shall we say.
So looking for Ricky Miller. You might have noticed there, Ricky Miller immediately apologised to the Bromley manager, Neil Smith, for that challenge. As into the box it goes. It's a great thing about Ricky Miller, how clearly enthusiastic he is about his football, how pumped up he is, how much he wants to do well, but you have to keep a lid on it at times, don't you?
Yeah, you do. It sounded like a scene from EastEnders there, didn't it, with the shouts on the bench, but the Ricky shouts. But, you know, he's excited to be back, isn't he? And he's got the enthusiasm.
Remember his manager at Dover, Chris Kinnear, saying that, well, Chris Kinnear, a teacher by trade as well, and I think very often it was very much a teacher-pupil relationship that he had with Ricky Miller, to almost as well a bit of a father figure as well with him, I think, to get the best out of him, as Chris very definitely did. It's so long to get back into football, having had that season out. Last thing you want is to see him get sent off.
Yeah, it's just all that adrenaline, isn't it? All the hard work, all the pounding of the streets, putting the miles in, getting back to fitness, and sometimes it just, you can't contain it. You're just so hungry and desperate to do well.
Webster guiding this back, and the pressure here from Miller. We saw Chike Candy being readied for action a couple of minutes ago. I'm told it's Noble who we're expecting to come off for his introduction. Jack Holland who headed clear. Miscontrolled by Roberts, the pass by Rees. Anderson. Ogie. Referee's played an advantage here because he was tripped there by Cheek Ogie. It's good refereeing that by James Durkin.
Yeah, this time they need to get it set up properly. Opportunity for the centre-backs, Finney, Lyons Foster, to come up. Let's hope for some decent delivery on this occasion from Ogie. Just put into a dangerous area.
In it goes. Plenty back to defend there as Whittingham looks to try and drive it in. Here comes that change, so Candy to come on, and it is indeed going to be Noble who's withdrawn. Candy, a former Welsh under-19 international. He was with Chelsea as a youngster. He's also been at West Brom and Brighton. Most recently, before he moved to Aldershot, was at Dagenham and Redbridge. Has got a couple of goals in the league this season. It started the last three. He was sacrificed after Mitch Walker's red card against Weymouth and found himself on the bench today, but has a chance in the final quarter of an hour to make an impression at Hayes Lane.
Yeah, we'll see where he comes on. I say Noble, outstanding that first 20 minutes. He's just drifted out of the game. A couple of opportunities in the second half. His quality into the box has been quite poor, so no surprise to see the change.
Foul by Roberts there on Miller.
Yeah, he does really well here. Just a trip there from Corey Roberts. Again, it's a dangerous position.
Sorry for any swearing he might have heard, as Aldershot ready the free kick. Well, Eds has placed it. I think Miller wants that, doesn't he?
It's going back. Saying he's short.
He's 10 years Eds' senior, Miller. But the youngster has managed to keep hold of the ball here now. What can he produce? Aldershot need a big moment. Final quarter of an hour. It's Edsa to take it. Well, Miller will get the next one.
Yeah, really disappointing from Edsa once again. Struggled to get into this game and make an impact, and you're thinking, is he just going to flip this into towards a penalty spot, 6-yard box? But no, straight into the wall.
Has been playing well, Edsa. He was the Shots Player of the Month for December. Former under-23 captain at Nottingham Forest. In fact, I even read the other day the former Spurs player, you might remember, David Howells, was singing his praises, saying what an excellent young player he is with a bright future. So a Bromley change now. James Alabi, former Chester player, coming on. Centre forward, signed from Leyton Orient in September. Bromley's second highest scorer this season behind Cheek, and it's Williamson, who's been, by his standards, pretty quiet today, who's replaced by Alabi.
Yeah, struggled to get into the game, Williamson. Again, doing a lot of work against the ball. So it's been mainly Aldershot knocking on the door. He's not managed to find a way through so far.
Panayatu looking to get to that, and the goalkeeper, Cousins, was helped out by a couple of his defenders there. Bit of a scare there at the back for the Ravens, but now they look to attack as Cheek looked for Alabi. Finney was there for the shots.
Yeah, we see the ball here, eventually finds its way into the box and just bobbling around. It flicks off Webster, doesn't it? Not very convincing from Cousins. You want him to come and take that and really take the pressure off that back three, back five now.
Alabi going to ground. I think he was hoping for a challenge to come in there, wasn't he? As soon as he felt it, straight to ground he went. Might be able to hear from the Bromley bench. They're getting across the message. Look, final 15 minutes. They know how big this could be for their season if they could finally get a home win. We all know how good they've been away from home. 4 wins out of 6 on their travels. The only side unbeaten away from home in the National League this season.
Yeah, it's a big 12 minutes for both teams now.
Bingham is set up to strike it, and it's deflected off the top scorer, Michael Cheek. A big element of fortune about that for Bromley, but they'll take it all day long. Cheek, the National League's outright top scorer, that's his 11th of the season. And could that be the points now for Bromley?
Well, we were talking about him before the game. He has this knack of being in the right place at the right time. The shot's going wide, you can see that. Good movement from him there. I don't think that is intentional. Maybe he's just trying to get slightest contact. Just comes off the back of his calf, Achilles area there. Goalkeeper, no chance.
Tight in terms of offside. Very tight.
Yeah, it looks like Finney maybe just playing him on, just a couple of yards short of coming out. It's a tight call.
Candy's pass inside, didn't reach Anderson, now it's Cheek. Alabi, they're having to rush players back here, Aldershot. Oh, Alabi showing too much of that to Lyons Foster. It looks like it's going to be another very frustrating day here for Aldershot and their manager, Danny Searle, because they've had plenty of possession. They've threatened on more than a few occasions, but they've just had a bit of a lack of conviction about them, haven't they?
Yeah, they have mentioned it a couple of times, you know, quite good into that final third, and it's just not really worked out for them. Still 10 minutes to go in this game. They know Bromley threw away a 2-0 lead against Woking on Tuesday, but it just doesn't feel like it's going to be their day. Just like that bit of quality and conviction in the final third.
Edson. Last 10 minutes. Reese. Ricky Miller. Good cross there. And GK Candy. And it still might roll for Edsa. And there was a foul there on Frankie Raymond and a free kick to Bromley. Well, I'm hearing from down in the technical area that Cheek was apparently just about to be taken off before he scored that second goal that has made him the National League's outright top scorer now, ahead of Rooney, who got one for Stockport today. What a good season he's having, Cheek. That's 11 goals in 17 league games, as Rowe is brought on here for Edsa.
Yeah, there's a wry smile, wasn't there, from Michael Cheek. It's been one of those games where he's had to work really hard for the team. Not really had a sniff. You'd have to say been defended really well alongside Williamson, but gets his goal.
Well, having got his goal, Cheek is now apparently going to be taken off. 5 goals in 6 games for Michael Cheek. Well, they say that the ambition for Bromley is to finish in the playoff places this season, and if they can keep him scoring goals at the rate he is doing, Michael Cheek, they've surely got a chance, Bromley.
Yeah, I think he's vital to the way they play, really. It's a focal point, isn't he? You say he's on a good run of form. When things are going your way, deflecting in off your calf, your Achilles, and he works really hard for the team as well. It's not just about his goals. Makes life really difficult. Attracts defenders towards him. It just frees up space for those other players in and around him.
Well, Aldershot were hoping for a corner, but it's a goal kick that's been given. So Courtney Doufus will come on to replace Michael Cheek. No wonder he's smiling. You know, things are going for you as a striker, I'm sure, as you'll be able to testify, Kevin, as when you're the top scorer in your league and they're going in off your calf.
It's a funny knack, isn't it? Something you can't really coach sometimes. It's just getting a feel where you need to move, those little 5-yard movements and the flicking off your calf and going in. You know it's going to be your day.
Shows the strength in depth that they have in the centre-forward position, Bromley, when you consider that they've been able to bring on James Alabi, former Stoke City and Celtic player, who's pretty proven at this level, and also Courtney Doufus as well, former Irish under-21 international, most recently at Yeovil, was with Everton as a youngster, highly rated at this level. Webster forwards. Kept in play by the goalkeeper, James. I know we have mentioned Bromley's home form. Sure, if Neil Smith were listening, he'd tell us to shut up about their home form. We've mentioned it that much, but it is worth reminding people that this would be a first home win in the National League, Kevin, for Bromley since the end of October. That's how big this is for them.
It's huge for them. I think that just, you know, get the demons away and know that you can win at home. And you know, sometimes with this surface, it allows other teams to come and play, and especially over the winter months. So it's not always to an advantage. And I think Adam Virgo was talking about that before the start of the game. But they give them that huge belief that they can win here, and with the away form, you'd expect them to be in real contention this year. They've got a good squad of players. See Doufus just coming on, spent money on, so they're building a really good squad that should be challenging this year.
It's been a great period in the club's history. Won their first league title since '61 in 2015 to reach the 5th tier for the first time. Yatu with the knockdown, and Anderson, Ogie. In the box it went towards Miller, and it breaks now for Anderson. What an exciting week we have ahead in terms of Premier League action. We'll once again be bringing you all 10 games from next week's midweek fixtures, featuring every Premier League side from Tuesday to Thursday, and culminating with a game that on paper looks brilliant, doesn't it? A London derby, Tottenham against Chelsea. And a reminder, our next National League live game a week today, same time slot, Stockport against Yeovil. Simon Rusk, the new man in charge at Stockport, 4-1 winners at Woking today. Let's get Kevin Davies' man of the match, shall we?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Byron Webster at the back there, the captain. He's led the team, and clean sheets have been few and far between for Bromley this season, but I think he's had a few crucial headers there, particularly in the opening 20 minutes, and he's led the team really well.
Here is Webster. Candy to Anderson. Put into touch by Finney.
Yeah, again, it's just a bit of lack of communication back there between those centre-backs and the goalkeeper. Big shout from Brad James there, just allows Alex Finney to move out of the way, collect the ball. It's something that they certainly need to be working on. Chopped and changed a little bit back there. There's just some consistency back there.
Kept in by Alabi. Well to squeeze that through to Kizzy. These two sides, who, as it was billed pre-match, who, despite the fact that they've got ground to make up, will have designs on making the playoff places. It's a setback. They can't find a couple of goals in the closing stages, which they don't look likely to do at the moment. Aldershot, fans really hoping that the club can kick on now under Danny Searle after two disappointing campaigns, 18th last season, 21st the season before that. That after back-to-back fifth-place finishes. The Gary Waddock. Rome. Could they get one back here? Aldershot making a really interesting finale at Hayes Lane. It's loose from Raymond and they won't do it like that.
There's just been too many occasions. I think final pass has just not come off for them this evening. They've got plenty of work to do.
I said Raymond, I meant Rees. Disappointing return to Hayes Lane for Josh Rees.
Well, they've got to pick themselves up. They play Barnet only midweek and then a big tie against Chesterfield in the trophy next weekend. So back-to-back defeats, it's looking like. We're going to talk about the characters in the dressing room, the manager. Dust themselves down, try and take some positives from this game. Particularly the opening 20 minutes and try and go again. That's all you can do.
Bromley have a tough trip to Notts County next. Back-to-back wins this week for Notts. And then Bromley host Kingsland Town. Aldershot home to relegation-threatened Barnet, who've lost 6 in a row now. And then they host Chesterfield in the FA Trophy. The expectation is for 3 added minutes. They're saying that that ball never came into play. National League once again proving so difficult to read, isn't it? This weekend began with clubs the size of Chesterfield, Dagenham and Redbridge, Barnet and Yeovil all in the bottom half. Torquay just keep on motoring on in terms of going for the title. It looks like they seem a safe bet right now to go on and win the league. Still a long way to go, but in terms of the playoff places, Kevin, which go down to 7th, we should remind people, it's wide open, isn't it? And in terms of Bromley, this is a major step forward for them in terms of getting into those playoff places.
Yeah, it certainly is, and plenty to play for the likes of Aldershot and plenty of teams in that bottom half of the table as it stands. It's so tight and congested in the middle third of the league, and let's hope we all get the news we want next week and the National League and North and South can be able to continue and get to a finish this year.
Miller. By and large defended well today, Bromley, which will please Neil Smith, particularly in light of the manner in which they dropped 2 points at home during the week. They protected the lead that they got today. Remember, they were 2-0 up in that match against Woking on Tuesday.
Yeah, and particularly with no recognised left-back playing. He changed both full-backs, one due to suspension, of course, with Chris Bush, so he'll probably come back into contention because it was difficult for Frankie Raymond early on. There's another yellow card, and you know, they've managed the game really well. It's been a really professional performance for them.
So Rowe to take it. Once more, it's over hit, and really that will sum things up a bit for Aldershot. Perhaps a day to forget about and move on quickly. But then I suppose they'd have said that after what happens at home during the week against Weymouth. Confirmation of that booking for Alabi. Consistency proving hard to find for Danny Searle's side. Just a reminder, by the way, that you'll be able to see all the goals from every game in the National League after today's game, with Adam Virgo and Matt Smith directly after this. Plenty of goals in the National League as well. Today, some significant results too, as I'm sure Adam and Matt will take you through. Well, he's a happy man, and understandably so. Once again, they've done it in front of the cameras. Their last win in the National League was live on BT Sport at Solihull. Another impressive performance. Out by Ogie. Big step in the right direction for Neil Smith and Bromley. Their first home win in the National League since the end of October. It was Jack Bridge who got the opening goal in the first half, very well taken on his right foot, his first goal for Bromley. And then the National League's top scorer, Michael Cheek, scoring one off his calf inadvertently in the second half. Bridge will be delighted to get off the mark for Bromley. It's another setback for Aldershot, 2 defeats in a week for them, Kevin, but a good, I think is to use your word, professional performance from Bromley.
Yeah, you can see what it means to Neil Smith there. First home win of the season, fantastic away form. It was a really good performance from them. They had to weather the storm in the opening 20 minutes, but once they got the goal, they looked well organised, had a good shape about them, worked very hard for each other. They'll be delighted.
So full time at Hayes Lane, Bromley 2, Aldershot 0.
Yeah, excellent performance, almost an away performance in style, if you like, from Bromley, and they have been good on the road, haven't they? Unbeaten in half a dozen games. Good to see Ricky Miller back on a pitch. Neil Smith, I'm sure, is saying exactly that to him. Hopefully happier days in terms of goals and results from his and Aldershot's point of view, but good win. There's the story of the day. Torquay keep it going right at the top. 2-0 winners at luckless fun at Tim Flowers, obviously now with a big job to do. We are rock bottom, the Bees. Eastleigh with a late winner, saw off Boreham Wood on the road. That's an excellent win for Ben Strevens. 2 apiece, Dagenham and Redbridge and Chesterfield. James Rowe doing good work. Dale McMahon will take the point, I'm sure. Maidenhead with a late winner at Halifax. Terrific win for Ellen Devonshire's side, right in the mix at the top. Hartlepool beat Sutton. That was 2 of the leading contenders, just behind Torquay, going head to head. Good win for Hartlepool, who are on a real good run under Dave Challoner. Wrexham, 2-0 winners at Kings Lynn. They'll take that. Dean Keats' side. No game, sadly at Solihull. Waterlogged pitch meant their game with Wealdstone was off. Notts County, also on very good recent form, really. Winners at Weymouth by the odd goal. What a start for Simon Rusk at Stockport. 4-1 they have won at Woking. 3-1 Yeovil saw off Dover, and of course 2-0 here for Bromley, which catapults them up a very congested Vanarama National League table. Torquay still 10 points clear of Hartlepool, now up to second with a game in hand, and certainly games in hand for the chasing pack that now includes Stockport, Sutton, Notts County and Maidenhead. Altrincham make up the top 7, but look at Bromley up to 10th, and certainly games in hand for them. They could be right in the mix were they to pick up 3 more points from that extra game. But it is congested, and Aldershot, despite defeats here, still certainly nowhere near out of things. Of course, we are only 3 or 4 games short of the halfway stage, a 46, or it will be, of course, a 44 game season this season, with Macclesfield dropping out of the National League.